Welcome to paperfinesse.blogspot.com. This is Joyce Erb, and today I'm going to be making a couple of Valentine's cards using kitchen sink layering stamps. And this is the Carnation, and I use letters from the past on the brown one and make a big statement for the sentiment. The Carnation stamp set from Kitchen Sink Stamps is really a large set. It's got 4 layers for the big carnation and 4 for the small one. It's got a butterfly or a moth and some stems. And the back of the packaging shows the finished product. Gives you an idea and a little bit of a guide of placement. I'll be using predominantly Gina K inks except for one memento. And here I'm just taking my base stamps and just figuring out how I want to do my layout, because there's an angle for the carnation for the stem. And I start with my first color, which is Red Hot by Gina K. It's a little splotchy, but I'm okay with that because I don't mind some white in a carnation. The next color is my memento and it's Love Letters. And layer 2 is about the same size as layer 1, so it's really easy to layer this. And I stamp it. And then layer 3, there's a little triangle that I can see on the bottom left that I'm lining this up with. Plus I'm layering layer 3 towards the bottom of the stamp. This is Gina K Cherry Red. And I give that one 2 coats. Then for the very last one, I'm aligning it on the bottom to the left. And then I go in with my darkest color. Isn't that realistic looking? It's pretty cool. That's all with just stamping. Now I'm getting my stem in position, and I'm using, I believe it is it's Jelly Bean, Gina K Jelly Bean for layer 1. And then layer 2 lays right on top. It's really easy to line it up, although I bumped it and didn't realize it, and it did get off a little bit. And I'm using grass green for layer 2. Then I'm going to use fresh asparagus for layer 3. I'm going kind of fast here because it's kind of boring to watch me stamp. It takes me a while to get everything on and off and open. If it is too fast for you, just let me know and I will adjust the speed next time. And this is the last one. But each layer just adds more depth of color. Isn't that beautiful? I love the layering stamps from Kitchen Sink Stamps. Now I'm starting to lay out the second flower. And I'm going to speed this up even faster because it's exact same steps as the first flower. I apologize, when I played this back, I'm hearing a little sound in the background. It's been cold here in Florida and I've got my space heater on, so I will turn that off for the duration of the video after this next little segment. This time on step 3 I didn't double stamp, I just went with 1. I think it's that 4th layer that really brings these flowers to life. It puts in the shadows. Be sure to check out their store. They've got a lot of great layering stamps. There we have it, a clean and simple card front. I don't do many clean and simple, but these flowers were so beautiful they didn't need much else to make them stand out. I hope the sound is better now. So once I finish this, I decided to, I'm looking at which die to use here. This is a scalloped, inverted scallop from Gina Designs. And I made another card exactly the same, well, almost exactly, on craft cardstock. And what I'm doing now is after the flowers are all stamped, I'm just taking the stamps from the base layer. I'm doing both the flowers at one time, and I'm going to coat this in Versamark ink. And I'm going to apply clear embossing powder, and it's kind of a cheat for a mask because it will give me a resist, and I'm going to do some stamping on the background. I just had to do something more than clean and simple. And so the base layer of both the flower and the stems is solid. So it will cover the entire stamp and protect all the ink underneath it. I have to do the stems separate, otherwise they would overlap. Okay, so the Versamark is on them. I just have to coat it now with the clear embossing powder. I've got a new heat gun. This is the first time using a Wagner. It's a Wagner Studio, so it's a white one. But my Marvy was only 350 watts. These new Wagner ones are 650 watts. And so it's taken me a little while here because I'm afraid to get too close. I'm just not sure how powerful it is. It does heat up pretty quickly. I didn't want to burn it. This is Love or Letters from the Past, and it's a really nice little tiny script, and it's kind of vintage looking. It's got a pen, and it's got some postage stamps. And I'm just going to stamp this 2 times on the background. I can stamp right over top the flowers because the clear embossing powder acts as a resist. And I'm using frayed burlap distress oxide. Now I'm just going to add a couple of the postage stamps here and there just to give it some interest. I have the one overlapping the flower because I know it won't stay on the flower. Then I do take a slightly damp cloth and wipe off the flowers just to get off any residual ink that might be sitting on top. I'm just taking the cover sheet for the Make a Big Statement sentiments to see if I wanted Happy Birthday or Love. And this is for a challenge that I'm hosting at the Mod Squad Challenge group. And the theme's going to be a Valentine theme, so I decided to go with love. And I'm just sponging the edges right now with the Distress Oxide Vintage Photo. And I end up not liking it. And I'm going to come back. Off camera, I took the Distress Vintage Photo, not the oxide, just the regular Distress Vintage Photo. And the color was a little more vivid. I liked it better. I applied a little more ink in the backgrounds. Now what I'm showing you here is that I took the frame that I cut, and the frame portion I popped up with some foam tape. And the inside portion, I'm just going to add some glue. I use the Dries Clear Art Institute glitter glue. This glue will not bubble your paper, and it's extremely strong. I love this glue, and it dries clear, of course. And I'm just using a little tool to make sure my paper is flat to the base. I want that little bit of dimension. And I found some little heart gems in my stash. Not really nuts about them, but it's the only hearts I had. And that's card. Now I end up putting the hearts on this card as well, but I do take them off and add some paper hearts, which I did like a lot better. My granddaughter had a project she was working on. It's a little 6-year-old, and she had some spare hearts that Grandma snatched. The love is stamped with dark chocolate from Gina K. Well, I hope you like this project today. Be sure to check out Kitchen Sink Stamps. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day.